What's up, everyone? This is Lonnie Leckett-Style from First Among Equals, and I'm here with the illest, the OG, my homie Jae, a.k.a. Saccolini, a.k.a. A Vegan and Her. How you doing?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling good, too.
Thanks so much for inviting me. Much love. Appreciate it. You know, you've held it down from the get-go.
It's a pleasure. I think it's been a while since I've seen you. It's been a few years. Yeah. And I wanted you to come on the podcast because I see the hustle that I see how hard you work all the time.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I think it's very much similar to the way that I am and how I work, and I feel very connected to you because I feel like you're constantly looking for ways to make yourself better as a person, however that is, and I feel like I put my hand in different pots, and I see you doing the same thing, and you have so much going on that I kind of wanted to check in with you and see what was good and what was up and what was new and how you can inspire me and other people.
Oh, man. First off, we're staying super creative.
Yes.
Like, that's like the most important thing.
Favorite.
Like, there's you know, I've done the whole cycle of corporate, nonprofits, you know, dream jobs, nice 401k. At the end of the day, it's your creativity there's no price tag to it.
There is no
there's
price
no,
tag.
yeah, you could sell a piece of art, you could sell a CD, you could sell service, but you know, the emotions and passions that go behind it, there's nothing there. So a year ago, I quit my regular 9-to-5, and I've been freelancing and creating. That's nonstop creating. Every day of my life is creating.
What do you think, what exactly happened that sort of caused that sudden, I mean, it wasn't sudden, I'm assuming there's a buildup to understanding that you can no longer be a certain way or live a certain way. What happened? What caused that?
You work for your dream of becoming X, Y, and Z.
Your dream or the dream that you think is your dream?
Well, the dream that you're taught.
Absolutely.
You know, the dream that it's like, this is what it should be like. This is how people work their lives out. This is how things are secure. And, you know, it was cool. It was cool, but it wasn't for me. It might be for someone else, just not for me. Yeah.
Do you feel like you were following a path in your mind that you thought was the right thing to do for you because other people were doing that?
I just wasn't. I studied business, and in business, the greatest reward comes from taking the best calculated risk.
Okay.
Working a 9-to-5 was not the best calculated risk. It was comfort. And when I thought of it, I was like, this is not me. This is not where I want to be. There's no way for me to be more than this. You know, at some point I had somebody tell me, you have outgrown this place and you are bigger than they are. And you should think about that.
That's so scary. I've had that. Someone told me the same thing. Someone said you're not supposed to be working you're supposed to be your own boss, essentially, that this is only going to last for so long because innately inside of you have this, like, you could work for yourself. Like, I think we're disciplined enough where we can create these opportunities for ourselves to be successful, and we don't need someone to tell us what time to get there or what time to set our alarm. It's like we can create that.
Yeah, as long as you get it done, that's it.
Yeah,
that's
and if you don't get it done, it's on you. I mean, it's
get it done on time. Get it done. You know, if other people are involved, be respectful of that. You know, and be timely, and that's it. You know, then no one can tell you anything.
And that's what most people want to do. They don't want to fluff feathers and create an issue. They just want to show up on time and maybe be perceived as a great employee, or maybe be a great employee, but like work under the guise of someone else.
Yeah, no way. Well, I'll give you a quick rundown.
Me too.
Quick rundown.
Yeah.
Corporate world, straight out of college, 3.5 years. Excellent 401k.
Yeah.
Great paying job. I left. I drove across cross country. I traveled throughout Brazil, and then I eventually moved to Brazil.
Yeah.
I worked internationally, came back, worked nonprofits, then got my dream nonprofit job. You know, and at the end of it, it was like, it's really not my dream. You know, I'm still doing great for whatever cause I'm fighting that I believe in, but I could definitely be making the same, if not more money to help fund all my dreams working for myself. And it's tough. It's a huge risk, but as long as it's a calculated risk, then you're good. And in the modern day world, there's so much you could use to back yourself
Absolutely.
up, you know? Go sell something on OfferUp. You listen to Gary Vee.
I've sold all my
eBay,
things off.
you know, like everything.
Yeah.
And we're lucky. We're in a world where that is possible,
very
because
lucky.
even like growing up, that wasn't possible, you know. Craigslist came around, and, you know, that made it possible.
And
eBay
that was
came
just
around.
and these are small examples of when we were growing up. But now
now
the
it's
world
like,
is your oyster. Like, you really don't have to work. You don't even have to show up to a building.
No,
you don't have to do
no.
that anymore. People work from home. People work remotely.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way that we're going. And it's really amazing. I think it's amazing for people like us that are open to it. But I think, you know, it's harder for older people and people that are used to a very old school way. I mean,
different generation.
Absolutely.
Like it's tough. And at the same time, you got to respect that generation. That's what they need, and that's what it is. You know, and it's okay, but you can get stuck. You know, as I get older, and as I get to that point where I'm referenced as that generation, I hope that at least I remember that I'm like, hey, you got to keep an open mind and keep it moving. You can't be stuck.
Well, dude, that's how I feel about music. I feel like I could feel myself getting older when I hear songs and I'm like, this is that. I get all like, rah, 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 and I'm like, okay, Lonnie, chill out. Like, you have to be open-minded. But there's some shit I just don't like.
Yeah.
Like,
but
I'm equating it to that idea of like age with music, because I love
100%.
music so much.
No, I 100%.
You feel me? There's like a new vibe, or like the mumble rap or some stuff, and I have the hardest time understanding that. It's just like my ears are not, like, I'm so affected by old hip hop and classic hip hop, even new hip hop that's like legit and sort of more on point. But like even now, like I feel like, and I am gonna pull us into hip hop for a minute. Even now, like I feel like when we were growing up, it was like there were so many wonderful branches of hip hop. There was like Pimps and Hoes, and there was like Gangstar, and like Being Aware and Talib, and then there's Cycle Realm and like this really dark hip hop, and then there's like the East Coast grimy
the Living Legends,
the OGs and Biz Markie, and like this whole like making music with your mouth, and then there's just so many. I'm not even like talking about Bay hip hop, South Bay, Dirty South. Like there's so many variations of the way that hip hop can make you feel. And like now it scares me because of all the drugs and all like the pharmaceuticals. It just sounds like white noise.
It's gonna be there, you know. There's always gonna be that sort. There's always gonna be something out there that's not the greatest and might be the most popular. But like growing up, like I had the choice of listening to what was on the radio or listening to what was being played on Melrose at Fat Beats or at Workman's. You know,
Workman's Outlet was the shit. Do you remember there was a Workman's Outlet in Montebello Town Center too? Do you remember that?
No, man.
They had two of them, and I used to go shopping there too. I used to get those Rhino shoes. What are they called?
I don't remember.
Do you remember the Rhino?
Echo.
The Echoes. I used to get my
shit.
Echoes there. And on Melrose too. That was what's up.
That was old school.
That's so old school. And Workman's Outlet was like on Melrose was the shit. And
they used to have
Fat Beats.
ciphers there and stuff.
I remember. Fairfax, that whole little spot.
Yeah,
Fairfax by Fairfax High.
Full circle. The first time I was at a freestyle session was at Fat Beats, and the Living Legends were there.
That's what's up. That's when it was on Melrose, right?
Yeah,
when it moved there. Yeah.
And I stepped into a cipher very quick, like 4 bars. I was out, like something like boom, boom.
Out.
Yeah, like I was like little punk ass kid.
That's what's up, though.
And I went in Spanish.
Oh, that's sick.
It was quick. It was minimal, and I was out. And then now full circle. I was talking to Mers, and I was like, yo, dude, like, back in the day, the very first time I ever knew who you were was, like, I dropped this. And he was like, shit, I don't even remember that. I'm like, yep, it was so quick, and, like, but it was, like, I was a little kid, Like,
that's
I was,
so
like,
neat.
I don't know, I was, like, what, probably, like, 13 or 12. I don't know, man, I was young. But
Melrose,
wild.
that's where it used to be, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that was the coolest place to go. Like, I would go on the weekends, and I'd go take the bus and then just go dig. And I used to go to Fat Beats when it was on Hillhurst in Silver Lake, because I grew up there by Marshall. So I used to walk over all the hills through Franklin Hills with my backpack, or I'd take the metro, and I would just go there, and I would, I'd see.
Wild.
Yeah, and they would all be there. We'd just be posted, and that's when I started buying a bunch of vinyl. And then when I moved to Melrose, I mean, it just gave me another reason to go down to Melrose anyways, because I was buying a lot of house music.
Yeah.
And it was like DMC Records was down there, and I used to just go there and go buy vinyl. And that was back then when you used to have tables. You could actually like listen to everything, or like all the white labels on the wall. It was
dude,
exciting.
Like,
it was like you don't know what you're getting. It was like a weird surprise package of music.
And that was like, I don't know, hip hop was great at that era.
It was great.
Yeah, it was like, it was perfect. It was perfect. And I think that's where we come out judging what's coming out. And it's like, it's not, you know, it's not that it's not the quality, but it's not maybe what like our ears was like, yo, this is what's golden, you know?
Yeah.
And now like the new era is like,
I just feel like it sounds
golden.
the same.
It does, and that's
like,
that's interesting because like
it's monotone. It's like very one level, one dimensional.
But us growing up, if you sounded the same, then you were just like ridiculed. People hated you. Like that was the worst.
Or
thing.
if you're a biter.
Yeah, you couldn't sound.
That was the worst thing is if you were a biter, and now I feel like being a biter is not that big of a deal. It's not a problem. It's like
so I don't mind like use autotune, use everything you want to use.
Yeah, I don't mind that either.
Just be original, be original. Be thing that always sticks in my mind is Michael Jackson saying to be innovative. You know, being innovative, you don't die out. You know, some of the new stuff that's going to come out that I'm putting out, that's 2-3 years old.
How do you feel about what you're putting out now?
It's timeless. Like
exactly.
That's how I felt like as myself. But then, for someone to hit me up and say, "Hey, we got to master this track, and we got to put it out," I just listened to it again, and this shit is timeless. Then it's like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Like, you know.
Well, and that's a lot to say, and it's from someone else saying it to you. Means that you can always apply it whenever.
Yeah. You got to be in the right mindset. You got to be like in the right. You got to be focused. You got to be willing to dedicate to what it entails, because you can't. You could drop the best song in the world. It could be the best thing ever, like the brand new best thing ever. Yeah. But it's not going to go anywhere unless it's marketed properly, unless it's supported properly.
And the timing.
Yeah.
Timing is major.
Yeah.
I've realized that in time. Like there's things that, get dropped at the same time, and then one thing is like lit and the other one dies out. But there's times where things just fall into place. So,
and you go years to prepare for that.
Yeah.
Years to prepare for like
that moment.
It's hoorah, and the hoorah is not just one moment.
Exactly.
It's a hoorah for a very long time, and you got to be willing to deal with trying to stay at that level and being 100%.
It's grit.
% of the time.
For sure.
100% of the time is tough. It's exactly grit. Like you're going hard nonstop.
You're going hard constantly.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, someone else is going to come in. That's why like a lot of people hate on like, Drake or Justin Bieber and all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Hey, Drake's been dropping shit consistently. You can't act like, you know what I mean? Like people talk shit and I'm like, well, you're not dropping anything. So you can't say shit.
Yeah.
Like he's the one consistently bringing it. And at some point Drake gets into your ears. Like
no, man.
Like you can't.
I'm not going to lie. When he came out, I believe, when I was out in Brazil, and I wasn't listening.
True. You're right. He did when you were in Brazil.
Yeah, when I was in Brazil, that's when funky started coming up.
Okay, yeah.
And now funky in Brazil is just like bananas. Like,
interesting.
Like MC Kevinho.
Yeah.
Like, they even have this guy named MC Bin Laden. Huge.
I've heard MC Bin Laden. Yeah.
Huge. And funky just took off. But like when I came back, it was like, oh, this Drake dude, and I was like. I was still getting accustomed to like the auto tune and
for the Western eyes.
Yeah, but the more I listened to him, the more I was like, all right, this guy's dope. He has he has flow, he has lyrics.
Yeah, and he's just like emotional.
You guys used to blast him like hard at Horo.
Yeah, I didn't. Other people did. Man. I didn't live there. But yeah,
I got stoked, man. Like I got stoked. I was like, the more I don't listen to the radio. Like I'll listen.
I don't either anymore.
I listen to XM radio. If I'm driving,
I don't.
Otherwise, I'll make my own playlist on YouTube or on Spotify.
See, I don't know. I never got on YouTube. Everybody's been on the YouTube playlist thing. I was all about SoundCloud.
Because it's the visuals.
I guess because I paint. I like background, but I don't like to watch
You don't
things.
watch it.
I gotta hear, or I replay things like movies and stuff that I know because I just don't want to have to be.
Yeah, it's
losing
the
my
4 ways of
focus.
learning. Some people prefer visual, some people prefer hands-on, kinetic, and that's what it is.
I think for sure. I'm an audio, and then I'm visual, and then I'm kinesthetic because I feel like, all of that. And I'm very messy. I like to make huge structures and get. That's just who I've always been.
No, that's
super in hands-on, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So going back to your music. Because I'm really glad that we're actually talking about this because it sounds like it's really exciting and sort of. So what's going on with that? Where are you right now? With it?
We're back.
We're back. Saccolini's back.
Saccolini's back.
Oh,
yeah,
excited!
It's
you
so
sound so
much
relieved
fun,
to say
man.
that, though.
Hell yeah, dude!
I see the joy in your eyes.
Yeah, dude, man. It's been creatively. You know, I've been on since. I don't know, I was 13 and I didn't stop being on until I moved to Brazil, and I was focused on other stuff on trying to, and it's funny because I moved to Brazil to also do music because people were listening to my music in Brazil and were like, oh, that's dope.
That's dope.
You know, and I got a couple of shows here and there offered, and I was stoked, right? But over there, I was more of the life of an immigrant, trying to make sure I was surviving. I didn't have a working visa.
Life of an immigrant.
Yeah,
That's
everything had to
I
get
never
paid.
Thought about that.
Yeah, under the table, you know.
Wow.
But at the same time, like, I was living a crazy, gnarly life, you know, like, you know, private planes and like private, like, I don't know. It was nuts. Like
it was nuts.
I was eating behind Zico, one of the best soccer players to ever do it. I watched a soccer game sitting 4 rows in front of Romario. You know, and like to me it was like, oh, like we even got better seats than Romario. So like it was crazy. You know, like. You know, it was crazy, like living in that world.
You needed to be there and live that.
It was nuts. It was a whole nother experience, you know, very humbling, you know, and, you know, at the end of the day, it's like you could be fed all these experiences, but when it's not your money and you did not earn it, it is not yours. And that's what I feel makes a lot of people different. And that wasn't mine. And, you know, when I came back to the U.S., I was like, all right, I need to establish what is mine. And
was that more important to you when you came back?
Yeah, definitely. Like that's why I focused on a lot of what's creative, because you could steal anything from me. You could leave me butt naked in the middle of the street and taking my soul with you, but you cannot take my creativity. There's no dollar amount that can do that. You know, like there's no dollar amount. And being creative, you go through, you know, through episodes where you want to create everything impossible. Yeah.
Or you don't do shit. Yeah. It gets canceled. The series gets canceled. You got to start a new series.
Yeah. You got to come up with the next idea. But that's the beauty of it too. So.
Well, dude, that's why I like really wanted you here, and I wanted everyone to hear you because I think that you have come up with different episodes of your life. I've watched your episodes and from a distance, and I'm sure people have watched my life and like, oh, remember when Lonnie was all about this and now she's doing this, and it's just so cool to see and hear that you're kind of full circle coming back.
Yeah, and it's important that it's okay, because a lot of people fear it. You know, a lot of people are like, no, I got to be one dimensional. It's like, no.
Or people know me for just this.
Yeah, I'm okay with, like, you know, growing up making music, we opened for Slick Rick, we opened for Wu-Tang, we did shows with Evident Alchemist, you know, we did the House of Blues on Sunset. And now where creatively for music, I'm at a point where I believe on what I'm writing and the way that I'm recording and the whole composition of creating a song. It's because it's not like right now I could tell you on a couple, like for the maybe 3 to 4 years, I was off. I wasn't Saccolini. You know, I was doing a lot of food stuff for a vegan and her, and that's definitely me. But in that phase, I figured out that I always am gonna be, and the best to do it is to release the creativity, everything that I love to do. One, it's music. That's coming back.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, we're probably 6 tracks deep. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Food, because I love to eat, and that's a vegan in her part.
And I thought we were just going to touch on that. And I'm like, sorry for that. I'm actually glad that we had a delay.
And then the outdoors, man, and I do the outdoors, and that's exactly
the three, your kind of trifecta.
Yeah, each on its own has its own part, but it's all who I am. It's all Jae Ramos. It's me, and it's the people around me. It's the people I choose to be around, because it's at some point everyone either wants to be around you or everyone hates the fact that some people around you are, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And
true.
I tell everybody, be your number one fan. It doesn't matter how conceited, how narcissistic that sounds. You have to be your number one fan. And if you're okay with that, if you're okay with supporting yourself to the max, then everyone around you is going to support you to the max.
Well, the people that choose to stay.
Yeah. And
because
that circle
there's people
continues to get smaller and smaller. Yeah.
Organically, because they start to feel some type of way about who you're becoming.
Yeah.
And it's like a mirror to them. Like I've experienced a small little world that I'm in, and in sort of what you're doing, I can imagine that might be really challenging.
The cool thing is when two people, like if you're in that circle and you both are noticing that you are becoming, you are still able to love each other unconditionally and like help each other out and support each other out. That's a cool thing,
Yeah, that
if
makes
you
it
can't,
better,
then that's weird.
That's a fucked up thing.
And that's somebody I don't do business with, which happens.
It happens.
It happens.
Yeah. But it's the evolution.
Yeah.
And it's our evolution, and we have to put ourselves forward. We can't take care of anyone else, and we can't do anything for anybody else if we can't take care of ourselves. Advocate for ourselves, like you said.
So check this out. You said evolution. So the evolution of Sakhalini into a lot of the stuff that's going on now.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So on the first CD that I put out as a solo project, there was a song called Go Green.
Okay.
Which at the time was very realistic to what I stood for, which was, being eco-friendly, recycling, taking care of the planet, doing good stuff.
Okay.
Nothing to do with food, everything to do with like good stuff for the earth.
Okay.
So the first the seed, it was vegetable oil ink on the entire project.
Really?
It was vegetable cellophane. It was recycled or upcycled cardboard.
Oh, cool.
And then the tray where the CD went on with recycled soda bottle.
Wow.
Yeah. So everything was
there.
Was that, and at some point, I realized. So really, what I realized that project was as green as I can be, and that did not equate to how much more I can do. And doing much more was not consuming animals. And at that point,
where were you? What year was that?
It's like 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And at that point, like, I had 3 meals, 3 nights in a row, meat after dinner, and I sat slouched, physically and emotionally drained.
I knew we were going to talk about this. Because I'm like ready for it. I told you, bro, I'm not making any meat tonight. I'm not cooking dinner with any meat because I knew the guilt was coming.
Can I grab the other one?
Oh, totally.
Let's grab the other one before we talk about meat.
My life changes happening.
No, so like, I mean, to me, that's what it was. It's like I sat slouched. I was like, what the hell's going on? And I'm a person of energy, like.
High energy.
I believe in energy. I believe in vibes. And
yeah, I'm all vibes too.
When I was thinking of it, I was like, if I'm consuming something that is fearing for its life, like right before it ends, and putting it into my body, I'm putting that fear and I'm putting that death in my body. And to me, that's why I felt that way for 3 nights. And
like, sounds so holy spiritual, by the way.
It was crazy, man. It was crazy.
3 nights of
at that point, literally, that's it. That's it. And for 1 week, I ate deep dish ricotta and spinach pizza from Pizza Hut. and I ate Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. That's all I had.
Because you were trying to figure it out.
Yeah. And
So
after
you just
that
went rogue off meat.
Yeah. After that 1 week, I had salad, and I remember I was pouring bacon bits on the salad.
Ooh.
But bacon bits, like the actual brand, is vegan.
Oh.
Yeah. So there goes the word. It's vegan. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I put it on the salad, and then
How?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's because it's super artificial.
Oh, so it's super chemical,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's all it is.
Monsanto,
the
not
actual
real. It's
brand,
just it's cardboard, brother.
Yeah, no, pretty much, yeah. So then I was putting it on a salad, and I was like, that's it. I was having a salad. The irony, because now I don't really have salads, but as a vegan, I don't have salads. And
Really?
Yeah.
You
most
have
of the time
amazing
I
salads.
don't.
I've seen these amazing salads.
No,
No?
I hardly have salads. But at that point, having a salad, I was like, okay, that's it. I can't live off of cereal and pizza. And I was like, that's it. You know, in the process of becoming vegan and plant-based, you know, it's funny because vegan holds a bad connotation to it. A lot studies have been done where they say vegan, the word, has more negative connotation than the word terrorist, which is crazy. Yeah.
I can see that. I think for me it's not negative. It is, but it's like I'm just not educated enough.
Yeah. So the lighter.
So it's a fear. It's the unknown.
It's that word. It's like, holy shit.
I know terrorism.
Yeah. No.
You know what I
think
mean?
it's people don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because even I'm surprised that you're saying that you don't have salads, but I think that's like an assumption, like, oh, you're vegan.
Yeah,
you love salads.
You
and
eat
you're
like a rabbit. No.
Yeah. Well, okay, and
Cheers.
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 And real talk, I think for me, what I struggle with is I have not been convinced because I love meat.
No, totally.
I really love.
I lived in Brazil. I ate.
Oh my gosh,
lot of meat.
It's so true.
You know,
And
I traveled through South America, Argentina.
And that's why I think I want you in my life because I'm like, you need to convince me because I did have I've had some vegan food and it's really good, but it's like you have to go to very specific places. And I guess I'm a good cook. Sometimes I taste it and I'm like, this is not meat. This
No,
isn't
totally.
real.
So
I know it.
No, totally. So at that point, that transition into veganism, then you start learning.
Okay.
Like step by step, you start learning.
And weaning yourself off, right?
No, I went fully bacon bits. That's it.
That's it.
Maybe 1 week of weaning myself eating freaking pizza and cereal.
That's what I mean, because it's vegan. It's like cheese.
Yeah.
It's all of it, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm just like really in shock right now. This is all of it because cheese is my life. Like maybe not meat. I don't know.
No.
Holding my hand into this.
No, totally. So I literally went from that, and then at some point learning like, hey, being this person that wrote the CD, that made the CD very eco-friendly, and I try to limit production and the whole shebang.
Yeah.
I was not as eco-friendly as I thought, and going vegan, you're doing so much more for the planet just by not eating animals.
Yeah.
And you're doing so much more to yourself by not eating
self-love.
animals.
It is ultimately.
Not even that. Like I walked into my doctor's office and I told him I'm vegan. He's like, all right, number one, you're preventing heart disease. That's the biggest thing you're fighting by your diet. Number two, that I didn't know. I thought number two would be diabetes. Diabetes was number three. Number two was cancer.
Oh. Well, cancer's huge.
Yeah. So that 1, 2, and 3, he's like, those are the top 3 things you're fighting against. Like, by the way you eat, like you're doing awesome. Like those are the 3 things like you should, essentially worry least about. Yes, there's people that eat a vegan diet that have a heart attack and die at 50.
Yeah, and that's
that are healthy as a horse.
Those are the anomalies or the.
But your chances are better, eating a plant-based diet. I'm not saying eating the way I eat because I don't eat super healthy. But if
you don't?
No, hell no.
So what's the example of a shitty vegan? Now I want to see the new hashtag shitty vegan. He's like, over here. Boom.
There's 2 worlds.
Por ejemplo. Like your dad.
With that transition, you start rediscovering food. So you don't remember the first time you had a taco.
No.
You don't.
I do.
I came out the womb with a taco.
Yeah, right. So then,
LA.
but the first time you have a vegan taco that blows your mind, you're gonna be like,
Oh.
that's a vegan taco.
True that.
Like,
True
you know?
that. True that.
So imagine
Haven't had
being
that.
able to rediscover.
Right, it's like popping your
everything.
cherry for everything.
Every single
Okay.
thing.
I got time for that, right?
Yeah.
Over and
convinced
over.
us already.
You know. So
Okay.
we started doing that, and we started spending so much money on on food, and then we're like, let's take pictures. Maybe the pictures will help us.
Well, you have an
get free
amazing.
food.
It's her, right?
Yeah, a vegan.
She
and
has
her.
an amazing eye.
No, I take most of those.
You have an
She
amazing
does most of
eye.
like the professional stuff when
The video stuff.
when we're gonna get launching like our whole professional
Okay,
side of
on
things.
that other.
Yeah.
You have a great designer eye. Well, you know that. Well, I'm telling you.
I love art and I love creating and I'll never stop.
That's what convinced me is your
Yeah.
page.
So that's we went from that to like, hey, we're spending way too much money, and like we started taking pictures, and it took us 3 years maybe of just straight grinding. Everything in our food page, A Vegan and Her, is organic. We've never paid for
Deviated.
any system.
You're talking about followers, right?
Ever like anything,
Got it.
ever do anything for us. We edit our photos. Everything has been directed by us, filmed by us.
So authentic AF.
Yeah. When we're going into like building a production as what we're going to do with our YouTube, yes, we've gotten help from videographers, but yes, direction and cinematography and creation of the project and the idea behind everything
That's
is
awesome.
behind us. At some point you do need people to help you, like totally.
Yeah.
Totally. But we decided to do that, and now we eat like crazy, and
I see that.
yeah. But it's a balance. It's a balance. So yes, we get.
Well, I see some of your cooking. I see the ones that you do when you're camping or.
But even beyond that, so we
Yeah.
have to eat a lot out because we have to critique
Damn,
food.
you gotta eat out all the time? That's a bummer.
We have to critique food, and
Damn, again.
and it's all like the thing that we are very true to being honest.
So what do you... Okay.
Being honest.
So, por
like,
ejemplo,
yeah,
what about when you're like not feeling something?
I say it.
Do you say it on the actual post?
I say it. Yes, I'm
I guess
okay.
I haven't read a shitty post. Like I haven't read something. Well, okay, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I haven't had anything bad in a while.
okay.
I haven't had anything
everything
really bad in a
I don't know.
while.
Everything looks so good.
No, yeah. I haven't had anything really bad in a while. And anything that I have had that, might have been off, it hasn't been like bad to where it's like, we need to talk about this.
Okay.
It's been bad to where like, let me talk to the chef about this.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's respect too.
Yeah,
for whatever.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
sometimes you go to a place you really like and they might have a shitty day. Like it might not
Yeah.
be great. That's happened before.
And I have no
Qualms.
shame in being honest.
Okay,
like,
good.
like
Yeah.
whether you invite me, whether you pay me to go eat your food, whether you're paying for me to post the food, 100% honest. Even when money's there, it's 100% honest, and people have to realize that. Like, and I think that's the beauty of our account. Our account, it's not about the numbers, it's about the quality and about the honesty. Because besides the fact that we are foodies, I'm a creator, I'm a creative person. So I like to create content. I like to take pictures and edit them and make videos and get them out there, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to make you feel uncomfortable or not. I like to put it out there.
Absolutely.
And that's just another outlet.
So
That's another creative outlet.
I have two questions. Your palette, number one, how has your palette changed? Because I know that this has nothing to do with it, but I was in Cuba last year and we went for 10 days and that's like legit farm to table. Like they don't bring things in there. We ate everything off the land and it's like, oh, they don't have lemons because of the hurricane trees.
Yeah.
We had pescado, we had tilapia or something and I was like, I want some limon. They're like, oh, sorry, you have to go like to the bottom of the island. Like it's legit, right? When I came back and we were in the airport at LAX, we stopped by Wendy's and they wanted to order Wendy's and I was like, nah, I don't want anything. And then they're like, no, you should get something. I was like, all right, fuck it. So I got like a Wendy's burger. best burger I've ever had in my whole damn life.
Yeah.
And I know it's because of all the bullshit, the salt, the sugar, everything in the burger. And so I realized that, like, everything in Cuba, they're not known for their epic food, really. They're known for some of their, like, you know, cafecitos and stuff like that. But I feel like my palate was so bland.
What?
Like, it was bland.
Why?
Like, because everything was so simple and
Were you
plain.
eating at the right places?
No, it was amazing food.
So my brother-in-law is Cuban.
Oh, really? No,
So-
it wasn't.
so-
I'm not hating on the food, but they're not When we were there, the food was good, but to me it was mom and pop spots. Oh, actually, I had the best lechon in my whole life there. So, okay.
Dude, lechon asado, ropa vieja.
Ropa vieja was the shit. No. Okay. I'm saying no.
The mojo.
No, it was legit. But comparatively, when you come back to the States, there's all this bullshit that they put in our food.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I feel like my palate changed, and I had so much more respect for having like a cleaner palate.
No, yeah.
It wasn't inundated with all this noise. I call it noise. Like, it's like coming back to the States. This is noise.
No.
Everything's fucking noisy.
If you had apple juice in Cuba,
Exactly.
it's gonna look brown.
It's gonna look like
and
not
frothy.
attractive.
Yeah.
It's gonna look like apple, real apple.
Yeah. Versus an apple juice here, it's just like.
Which is amazing. The apple is real.
Yeah.
This is the way the apple should feel. I've actually had. We're not talking about meat, but I've had these like weird fantasies about like trying meat from like the 1930s or the 1800s, like
Aged meats,
and the meat was like, they were healthier. They were eating different greens. We weren't putting chemicals into our plants.
Totally.
Even our plants must have tasted so much more amazing 100 years ago. Like, comparing to now, even whatever we think is amazing, I'm sure that.
You know, like even
amazing.
like in the transition, you think, maybe you could get it from a backyard butcher.
Yeah.
We'll bring it down a notch. You think backyard butchers here, the standards are very low. The cases that I've seen of cruelty and just like disgustingness, it's like horrible.
Horrendous, yeah.
Yeah, for backyard butchers. But if you want to go deeper into that, you grew your own pig. You slaughtered your own pig with your own hands. You cleaned it. You did everything. At the end of the day, on my table, I'm still gonna be putting that emotion of somebody dying.
Yeah.
Like I've seen people die, and like just imagine feeling that. It's just like fuck. Like and then like eating it, it's like damn.
Well, it's funny because I listen to a lot of podcasts. Of course, I'm bringing Joe Rogan back in, but he's a hunter. He hunts, and he talks about
and he hates vegans, and I still love him. It's all good.
Well, exactly, but he talks about how when you hunt, you want to catch them in a surprise. Like, you don't want to catch them where they see you or they know or whatever, because like you said, they dispel or emit whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The fear goes into their body and their bloodstream, and then like it sours their meat.
Mm-hmm.
We get soured. Like the meat actually gets soured because of our emotions and our feelings.
And we take that away, and then we have the second reason why I decided to go vegan is ingesting death.
Yes.
And you can't take, that's not an emotion. And when you're ingesting when you're ingesting death, like I don't know, me emotionally and energy wise, I feel like I'm just killing myself. Like, why do I want to carry death? Like,
inside of you.
I'm already carrying like a shit ton of other burdens, you know, other responsibilities, other, creative thoughts. Like, why one more, if I could still eat as good. So back to the way we eat,
and that's selfish for me because I'm like, is it really?
No, and it's I always say it's one meal. It's 1 meal at a time.
Okay.
If you have one vegan meal, that makes a difference. There's one, you could look up whatever statistic it is, but there's a statistic that probably tells you save X amount of animals, whether it's a fraction or not, if you eat one meal.
Okay.
But. When you do discover veganism and food in the vegan world, you want to try everything, and that's how we wanted to try everything, and I used to be 240 pounds, like normally. And at some point before veganism, I said, hey, I got to bring everything down and be healthy.
But that was not
Nothing to do with veganism.
Exactly.
No, absolutely nothing. It was just more of like, hey, I got to get healthy. And then I knew that once I got to my ideal weight, I had to maintain it for 10 years. And it wasn't halfway into those 10 years that I became vegan. And you follow the feed, the amount of food we eat is crazy. And we actually eat it. We don't take a bite and, we don't take a picture with it and just take a bite and leave it.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people do. Like, a lot
I
of
never even thought that people were fake.
No, I mean, like, we actually eat, like, we eat and, we try to finish everything because it's food. Because, like, in our mentality, we don't want to go to waste. There's people out there without food.
Yes.
We're lucky to be,
Absolutely.
at some events where, like, almost everything we're fully comped. Some events will pay us to get out there and eat. But there's also a balance, back to the way of eating and being healthy and trying to balance it out. One of the cool things that we're going to start putting out is our system of meal prepping.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we spend, Trader Joe's doesn't pay us for this shit. They should. But we spent $120.
Heard of Trader Joe's. Yeah.
$120 at Trader Joe's to create 26 to 32 meals.
Okay.
Meals to meal prep for ourselves.
Okay.
That's enough for like 2 weeks for 2 people there.
I think I budget $80 a week at Trader. I'm a huge Trader Joe's head. It's $80 a week for me.
Yeah.
Easy.
So there you go.
That's it. Actually, that's my.
Like,
that's actually my ceiling.
look at that.
Unless I try a new meal, it's always $80.
So double that.
Yeah.
That's $160.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Are you cooking for anyone?
No, it's just me.
For one person.
Lone woman wolf pack.
There you go.
I mean, I put extras like a bottle of wine. Yeah, that kind of shit. But $120 for 2 people.
Yeah,
that's
2 weeks.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So I'm a fat ass.
No, it's not. It's not even that.
No, it's not even that.
It's people don't like.
I seriously
the
don't
first
eat a
time we
lot
did
out
it,
anymore.
now it takes us an hour and a half to cook all these meals. The first time we did it, it took us 6 hours.
Well, that makes sense. You're figuring it out.
6 hours. Well, it took us like a long time, for a very long time, But now we've kind of figured out like
The system.
Yeah, the system of how to get it done, and if you have.
So this is on the
people-
daily. This is like a breakfast or a lunch or.
So breakfast.
How are you doing that, and then also doing like we're eating at this restaurant? Because if you're meal prepping that many meals, how are you?
So breakfast is oatmeal or smoothie.
Okay, I do.
I usually prefer smoothie. Her, which is Erica, Adventure with Erica.
Yeah.
She does oatmeal.
I do the steel cut.
Is that the blue and white bag? She doesn't do the steel.
I do the frozen steel.
Okay,
it's portioned out. It's plastic waste, but I love it. It's bomb.
And
it's fire.
Good kudos to Trader Joe's because they're getting rid of a lot of plastic.
Oh, good. Yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah.
They got rid of a lot of the.
And that was actually a vegan petition that started.
Oh, look at that.
So there you go.
That's cool.
But we do that. We meal prep. And we'll stock whatever we can stock. We have a little cheat meal here where we'll get the veggie dumplings, which are vegan, or we'll get like the vegan orange chicken, and that'll be like our cheat meal where we could just incorporate, and like heat up.
So that's considered a cheat meal because it goes over the price per meal.
No, not even over the price. It's just we don't have to meal prep it.
You don't have to make it.
If we make a large batch of rice or quinoa,
got it.
We could always pull the dumplings and use dumplings and rice.
Parcel it off.
But our meal prep is not based on trying to lose weight or trying to nothing.
So there's no calorie counting.
No, hell no.
Okay.
Our meal prep is about eating good.
That's the goal.
Yeah, you're just eating good food.
That's straight up. I like that.
And that's the thing. I think all I've done since going vegan is eat amazing and hike, and I haven't gone crazy in the gym. I have 2 crazy discs in my back that have landed me on the ER various times.
Really?
Horrible.
Lower back?
L4 and L5 in the lower back.
Okay.
And then,
I know. No, I'm kidding.
And then, so that one, and then I have one in between 11 and 12 on the top.
Why?
It's years of actually sitting behind a desk. 19 years of sitting behind a desk.
Really?
At various office jobs.
Or school.
And school.
That's school.
Yeah.
That's learning, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't know. Yes,
That's
like
learning.
I did
Behind
school.
the desk, yeah.
And it's funny because like in the vegan world, or in any influencer world, which is what like the vegan world has allowed me to open up for what I do. You know, there's people that just do that, and that's that. They've never had education or anything, and like that's when I present myself to a company that's interested in doing some work with me. I'm like, hey, I've had international experience, I have this creative experience, I've done this at school, I got a quadruple emphasis in business. People don't know that.
I didn't know you could get a quadruple emphasis. Well, you quadruple emphasis a lot of things.
So like people don't know that. Music people, it was just like, oh, it's just this hard-headed kid just doing hip-hop, just freestyling and rhyming, just grinding,
just being a rapper.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the small portions of who I am are finally coming together.
I love it. I'm really enjoying seeing it.
Yeah, I'm able to push like various videos and food and music and incorporate everything. And cool thing, we were at the Grammys this year, at the Latin Grammys.
Dope.
I got out of the plane, and I get into the tram in Vegas, and then I look down, and it's Erykah Badu sitting on the seat.
That's
So I'm like, Badu, and she like looks at me, and I'm like, power to the vegans.
She's a vegan.
Yeah. I'm like, power to the vegans. And like right away she like looks at me like all like, what the fuck did this guy just say?
So dope.
And she's like, you're vegan? And I'm like, yeah. She got up, gave me Badu got up.
Oh my God, gave you a hug.
Gave me a hug. And then like we talked for like 20 minutes. Like even like we were waiting for our luggage, and she was we were just mad rambling back and forth,
dope.
you know? And even then, like I walked away, didn't ask for a picture, didn't even tell her like, yo, I think you're the greatest.
Yeah, it was just a convo.
It was just a moment that, it didn't even spur from music. It just spurred from like, two people that are in music, but the focus was veganism. And that's the crazy thing, and like I eventually came back and told her, hey, I'll let you know, like I do music, but I also do a lot of vegan stuff right now, and I just want to say power to the vegans with you. And she's like, all right, cool.
Oh.
Like, so I got that, and I was like, that was like a little, it's how the worlds are coming together.
Yeah,
And now my brother's vegan. My brother's been vegan,
For how long?
For over a year. It's a year and 3 months now. And it's funny because we were at Yard House, and he ordered hot wings. This is like right when I went vegan. He ordered hot wings, and I couldn't stand the smell, so I covered my nose. Like I covered my nose with my shirt, and he's like, "Oh, you fucking pussy!"
Yeah.
So I smack him in back of the head, and then like we're literally sitting at the table, and he like clonks me in my nose.
Oh my God.
Like,
Related much?
I'm bleeding, and then like
like legit.
And that same night we said peace, like we were all good. But like fast forward now, he's vegan, and I was a black sheep of the family because I was, I've always been a black sheep, but even more now because you're vegan. But now there's a total of 6 of us in the family that are vegan.
What?
Yeah. Including one of my cousins who's pregnant. Well, whether I know whether the baby's going to be vegan or not, I know she's consuming a vegan diet, and she's a nurse.
Wow.
Yeah. And I know that her dad is having to learn how to cook vegan food because...
Well, that was my next question.
Yeah.
So how do you operate when you're not in the umbrella of the vegan world? Because that's kind of where I sort of also struggle with when I'm with my friends who are non-vegan, or people like when you're somewhere you're starving.
Let's go back to Cuba.
Okay.
Let's go back to Cuba.
Let's. Cuba. I really do.
The basis of everything in Latin America, especially in Cuba, rice and beans. Rice and beans. Beans will give you more protein than any meat.
Beans, the musical fruit.
That's it. You know,
It's not
red,
true, but it ruins.
white, black.
I love beans. Like,
Pinto.
I could eat beans all day. Okay, you're right.
Beans and rice all day, right?
Then I want to put cheese on top. Boom, done. Killed it.
So you got your rice, you got your beans, you got
Yeah.
your maduro.
Yeah.
Think of that. That's
true.
without even throwing the word in there. That's very traditional of Cuban. You put some
Yeah.
mojo de ajo,
No, you're absolutely right.
Cuban.
And I'm Guatemalan. It's the same. Casimiento, all that. All
So now, like,
Plátano.
you know, we're lucky to live in California because California is the vegan mecca.
We're the bubble.
Yeah.
We are in the bubble.
But we're also the exporters of everything that's great in the vegan world. We're the exporters of Beyond Meat, Impossible Meat, Miyokos, Follow Your Heart. And you mentioned cheese. You get into the cheese. It's a gold rush right
Okay.
now to create the best vegan cheese, the best vegan meat.
I never thought about that being
It's-
the gold rush of trying to be your most legitimate version of.
It's now, you know, and it's been led by the Asians because it's actually even the Chinese have the best mock meats. If you go into a Chinese,
That's interesting.
if
Really?
you go into go to Chinatown and go into like in a Chinese market, you're gonna find a lot of frozen mock meat, and it's always been there. But the taboo of being vegan has never been around until now because it's so huge and it's taking over. I just saw an article that last year the dairy industry lost $1 billion.
Wow.
$1 billion.
I've definitely cut back on. I don't really consume dairy like I used to either. That's amazing.
And
That
it's-
makes
it's-
sense.
So,
I've
like
definitely
with
been
milks,
affected.
with cheeses, with meats, everybody's trying to create the best thing. You're gonna find some of the best cheese around. You want quesillo, you could find a quesillo. You want parmesan, you could find parmesan. You want cotija, you could find cotija. You know, like it's going cross cultures. You know, across
That's amazing.
every culture, and we have two of the leading cheese producers of the best, like tasting cheese in all the vegan world.
Really?
In California, one locally in Studio City, which is Follow Your Heart. Incredible cheeses.
So Follow Your Heart is a cheese.
They make everything.
Oh, they make everything. Okay, so it's
so
just
they make
it's all
cheese, sour
vegan
cream.
friendly.
They make vegan mayonnaise. You know. So, yeah. So vegan mayonnaise. Nothing with them. But this is how much the dairy industry is getting hit. Hellmann's.
Yeah.
You know, the mayo gods of
Absolutely.
gods.
Yeah.
You know, a little company comes in called Just Mayo, and they're called mayo, and by definition, mayo has to have egg. So what does Hellmann's do?
They sue
Get in a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Yep. They
Just to
lose.
cut 'em down.
They lose, but Hellmann's has already been taking a hit. And what do? They come back and create amazing vegan mayo.
Wow.
And
I'm not even a mayo head.
And it's cool. At that point, for me, it's like if the Tyson is buying portions of Beyond Meat
yeah.
and Hellmann's is putting out a vegan mayo, yes, it's business. And yes, it's about money. But at the end of the day,
It's good for
is there one less animal that's killed?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, and
Absolutely.
it sucks because veganism is converting into this big cash cow.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
weed.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now
Yeah.
we're okay with it. Now we're going to make all
Why
this,
does it have to be
monetize
a
it.
cow, though?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. It's that. Like it's because they're making so much. You know, that's where it comes from. They're making so much money off
Yeah,
of these
absolutely.
animals. We've been able to figure out how to fully farm animals and monetize. You know, and in our reality, you don't eat the raw meat. No one eats raw meat unless it's like sushi. You know, people will eat sushi, but even then, people might still dip their sushi in soy sauce or
Yeah.
what do you call it? Wasabi.
Yeah, wasabi. That's very
No
true.
one will have raw meat. You know, so the idea of eating meat and liking it is mainly based on spices and you know how you season it. So if you could eat something that's seasoned and has a texture exactly like meat and it could sell you on it, Why not?
That's how I think that's where I'm going with it, is I think hearing what you're saying and understanding that there is these versions of things that I think I can like wrap my head around, maybe not all the time, but like consistently pull that away. I've already thought about like just having, which I've done before, is just like not eat meat for a few days and just, you
And
know,
that makes a
sort of
difference.
taper
Like
off.
that's
But
like
my
I'm
mind
a
is
big
there's all
proponent
this
of.
meat already sitting, not that I want to eat it all, but there's all this meat sitting in a freezer in a market that's going to go bad now, and then I feel bad for that meat because that meat is not being consumed.
Totally.
I'm not saying that makes it okay. I don't want to eat it. My
It
point
could
is,
feed a lot of people.
yeah.
But it doesn't. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't. Like if a meat goes bad at a market, like it's gone.
Well, and
to the
what's fucked about
trash.
that too is like the market, just the systematic bullshit that we have here, where that meat should, if it's gonna go bad soon, we should give it away, or
Yeah.
give it to the homeless shelter before it goes bad, or turn it to a stew, or like that's the whole.
No, yeah, no.
conversation.
Like you could
frustrating
you
to
could
me, all this
feed more
wasted
people
food.
with it, definitely. But then it's back to like what it is, you know. Like
Let me ask you this, and this is me coming from not an educated perspective. That's why you're here. Is hearing, what about the idea that plants have emotions and that they've read? What do you think about that? Where they've read, like they've had studies on the sound waves of of plant life.
It's a gimmick.
You think it's a gimmick?
it's a gimmick. Like people can tell you can't live without meat. It's all bull, you know. Like it's all bull. Like you're like you could plant another plant and you're not hurting. It's not something that is like an animal.
Because I'm sure
like,
you've heard a lot of that too.
Yeah, you hear a lot of it. Like that's.
And I
that's,
talk to my plants, and I
No,
know
totally,
I talk to
totally.
my plants, and I know I feel.
Why don't you eat them every day though?
But I'm talking to them too, though.
But why don't you eat them?
Well, I actually do. I do eat some plants. We've eaten some of my plants, but yeah, I mean, I just need
That's the thing. Like you could talk.
I'm
to
like, hello, I'm gonna eat you. You look
No,
so
and it's-
hot today.
you know, some
You're gonna be in my
people-
bowl in 5 hours.
Some people feel
bitch.
like that connection with like the animal is okay to eat them, and some people make that connection is too much and they shouldn't eat them. You know, and it's
You're talking just animals and
yeah,
the
animals or even the
boundaries.
plant. You know, like maybe you're talking to a sunflower, but you're not going to eat the sunflower. You might eat its seeds.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but you're not.
I mean,
gonna,
it's hard, you know. I've heard that before, and because I talk to my plants, and I do believe in their energy and the
Yeah.
sound waves, and I have a few plants that I feel aren't doing so well. You've heard me talk in front of them, and I'm like, they're good, but they need a little. I don't know what's going on, but anyways, I believe they hear me. Like I'm not even talking.
It's back to like.
I believe it. It's real.
Yeah.
Everything has energy. The
Yeah.
wood has
Yeah.
energy. Everything. I sound like a freaking hippie. I sound like my mom right now. Yeah. I'm just saying, I think everything has life. There is nothing that
No,
has not
definitely,
has
yeah.
life, you know? So it's like,
And-
where do we rule where, okay, I can't eat this record. No, I'm kidding.
No, you can't eat the record, but
No.
like this wood. Like,
Yeah.
It came from somewhere.
It came from somewhere.
It could have been recycled.
It came from Home Depot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Home
You
Depot,
could've-
Alhambra.
Yeah. You put it together.
I did. I had I had it done. But yeah.
Yeah. No. you
Yeah,
know,
but it has I don't know. I feel like it has memories and emotion.
Yeah.
I love it. I feel that about everything, and I just want to be as respectful as I can.
No, yeah.
And I need to learn more about what we're talking about, because I feel like you full-fledged like dove into this
Yeah,
world.
no, that's a cool thing because you know me from before I was
I do,
before
that's
being
why.
vegan. So like, you knew my eating habits. You knew like how wild I was and
lifestyle.
like, yeah, it was just that's the way it was, you know. And,
Yeah, I was there.
And there's like an aha moment, and
I've had many aha
you know,
moments. That's why
yeah.
we're here now.
yeah,
This
exactly.
is an aha moment.
Yeah,
A revelation.
You know, and it hits. You know, and it hits, and you take action. And you know, I'm not on the streets protesting. You know, I leave that to people that are experts to protest.
I
you
want
know.
to do that and feel that that's their
and-
representation
yeah,
in the
exactly.
system.
You know,
Absolutely.
I was
100%.
part of a nonprofit. You know, playing quarterback to the marketing. department, and I mean not the marketing department, all departments, playing quarterback, marketing quarterback for all departments in the vegan world. Very quiet, but you know, the true passion I have is the food. I can tell you when something's bad. I can tell you what I feel might make it better. I'm not a professional chef. I'm not, you know, I haven't studied that, but when it comes to flavors and textures, I can tell you what I feel will sell. But at the same time, I could tell you business-wise what might be the lowest cost and what you may be able to get the most profit out of.
Wow, this is the
And
business
it's
head
still,
coming.
yeah, and it'll still be good, and it'll still be a good product. And you know, that's how I eat. That's how you navigate this vegan world, and that's how I've taken to take my activism. I take it on the plate. You know, if you can,
That's what's
if
up.
this
Interesting
encourages you to go eat a vegan meal, then I did my job. You know, like without needing to do it, without trying to fake the funk,
Yeah.
without trying to do shit, just being myself. And that's like the thing that I've like pushed for.
That's what I love about you.
Like,
You're
I
authentic.
can't fake the funk. Like I don't.
No, I
like,
can't fake the
you
funk
can't.
either,
You
man.
can't pay me to fake the funk. Like I've been
Word.
paid to fake the funk, and I haven't. But here in LA, you know, yeah, you can meal prep for $120 for 2 weeks from Trader Joe's. You can do that. But specifically here in LA, you could have a crazy burger that looks identical to an In-N-Out burger, smack on the taste. You know, some people will even argue better. There's some people that I know that are not vegan, but will go to a restaurant, and if they have a vegan burger, they would order that vegan burger.
Over it.
The patty, they'll still have cheese. They might even add bacon, and the bread might not be vegan. But the point is that they're ordering that vegan patty. So that's a big difference. If
That is a
they're,
huge
you know, if
difference.
they're ordering that, you know, the next step is, you know, yeah, maybe we need to make the most realistic bacon. You know, and you know, a lot of people argue like, what's the point of realistic
I've heard
vegan
that.
meats?
I hear that a lot.
You know?
Like, what's the point? Why are we faking the funk on the meat?
Yeah.
I've heard that too.
Yeah,
but
but-
I haven't had enough of that meat to argue different.
Yeah.
That's why I keep my
No, but
I
then
need to-
the idea of
the idea around
the
it.
meat, why don't we eat the animal as it comes? Why do we have to put it into a little patty to make it nice and round?
Interesting.
It's not it's not, you know, that
Yeah, like we're formulating it to
Yeah.
our cultural.
so why can't I make
shape.
a vegan patty and just
Yeah.
say it's like burger patty?
Yeah.
You know, just because there's beef in that doesn't mean like it resembles like exactly the cow. You're not eating the, you know, like
Yeah.
it's that connection. It's that disconnection.
It's the disconnect.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
exactly what I struggle with
Yeah.
is the disconnect.
And when you're vegan, it's like you don't have to figure out that it comes from a cow.
Fuck, dude,
you just have to make sure it's vegan.
That's
you know?
mind blowing.
So
Because you're right. It's like coming from this animal, and then we smash it up
yeah,
and create this like gruel weird glob, and then we make it into a shape that's appealing or easy to eat accessibly. But it's something that one person created, whatever, McDonald's. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But
Like,
but
made
look
the
at
first
the
burger
movement
patty.
now. The movement now. Up and down the West Coast, you could get great vegan options everywhere. Up and down the East Coast, the same thing. In the middle of the U.S., I don't know. Everywhere else in the world, you can get great vegan food as
You're
well.
right, and the rice and beans
Yeah.
option that you.
But if we
told me.
focus only in the U.S., you know, and we're focused on fast food markets here in the U.S., that's like the biggest thing. What's
It is
gone
the
down
biggest
now? Carl's Jr. Well, first when Del Taco started using the Beyond Burger vegan options. Carl's Jr. nationwide sells you a vegan patty.
Wow.
You have to make small changes. No
didn't know
cheese,
that.
no mayo.
Wow.
But everything else is vegan. Their
See,
their
I don't
secret
eat fast
sauce is
food very
vegan.
much. Really?
Yeah, yeah. I don't either.
I'm not even saying.
I
Like,
don't
once in a
either.
while, I'll fuck up and have some really. I'll
But
have
no-
In-N-Out. I don't even count that as fast food. Even it's so like good.
Yeah,
like,
but now that there's a vegan burger at Carl's Jr., it's so easy for me to say I'm hungry. There's a Carl's Jr.
that's what's up,
I'm gonna go eat a vegan burger,
dude. And I love that on your Instagram you have the Olive Garden vegan Olive Garden. That's legit, and I actually love the graphics on those.
So I did those with a friend.
Did you do all the graphics?
No. That was my friend Vince Leah.
Vince Leah is dope. Like it's just, it looks weird. It's trendy dope. Like the vibe on it.
Vince Leah on
Sick.
YouTube. What he did is he hit me up. You know, he's a good friend.
It's genius.
His girlfriend's Ecuadorian, so we vibe.
Okay.
And he was like, "Look, like let's hit the chain restaurants. Let's
So
eat
smart.
and let's find the vegan options."
That's legit.
I was like, "All right, cool. Let's do that." And
I mean, I don't rock Olive Garden, but I was like, that's funky and strange and kind of out of
but
left
their
field.
but their breadsticks, they're fire, man.
Okay, they are
Like,
fire.
They're fire.
Actually, they are fire. But I never go there. But I didn't see all the ones you did. But the
Let's see.
trademark graphic
Name a
on
restaurant that you really like to see if I could think of anything that's vegan there. Could possibly
there. No,
be
because I don't
vegan.
do chains.
But anything. Okay, let's not do chains.
Kazuya. Like, oh, I can eat. Well, I can go.
Let's not-
I go J-Town. I go straight Little Tokyo. But I have miso soup. I have like I
Little
don't even
Tokyo.
need,
Okay, anything ramen in Little Tokyo. Anything ramen. If there's a ramen house that is business inclined, not even like thinking about animals, just straight business inclined, beyond the fact of animals, they will have a vegan option.
Yeah, and see, to me that's kind of a gift. I love the Japanese food. You can get away with not eating.
Let's think Pico Union.
Pico Union. Let's talk about that.
Ooh, dude.
Olympic
Pico
Boulevard.
Union. Pico Union.
Alvarado and Olympic.
In Pico Union, on the corner of Pico Union, driving east into downtown.
Okay.
I was driving. I see a sign that says vegan conchas.
What?
Vegan conchas.
In the hood. That's like straight
In
up.
the
That's
hood.
Pico Union.
So my aunt would pick me up from school and I would stay at her house, and her house was right behind this building. I had never gone to Esplanada because back then it was like you just didn't get out.
No, you didn't. Yeah.
You just stayed in the house.
You
weren't getting out, you know? So.
Well, and you were supposed to not be in certain areas either. Like, that's not your hood. You don't go.
Behind her house
together.
is an alley.
Yeah.
Like even worse.
Yeah,
You just didn't get out, you know?
Yeah. And you were in K-Town, right?
Yeah, I'm born and raised
Yeah,
K-Town,
that's
you
a
know,
whole
like,
different
but everything that I
linear-
spend was K-Town,
It's fast
downtown.
food for less, you don't fuck around.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Right
dude.
there.
So I never did, and I never gone there. So I was driving east, and I saw that sign.
That's crazy.
And I was like, I'm pulling over. I pulled over, and I went inside.
How was it?
So it's interesting because they have two locations. That one, and then they have one on Sunset.
Okay.
The one in Pico Union is owned by the two sisters, or ran by the two sisters. It's owned by the family. The one on Sunset is ran by the brother. The brother was a vegan hater, and the sisters are vegan. So then
Both sisters?
Well, one's vegetarian, one's vegan.
Okay.
I believe. I don't know if she finally
She's probably
made
gonna
the
turn over
switch.
eventually.
Yeah. But then they started making vegan pan dulce, vegan arroz con leche, vegan bolillos, vegan tamales, like the salvi breakfast, and they even have
The típico?
Dude.
They have the típico.
Dude. But they, on top of that, they have the best vegan salvi crema.
What? Okay, I need to try the vegan salvi crema.
Tardy and
like thick a little, like has that little whip.
Yeah.
But like
and
thick.
it's their Panaderia Cusclateca.
Oh my gosh. Say that 3 times.
Yeah, right? It took me a while to figure out the name.
That's what's up.
So I stopped there and I started talking about that place because that's what I do. Like if I hold a place I'll hold some places in my pocket and I won't talk about them because I'm going to do a bigger production.
Yeah.
In this case, I was so excited. I was like, dude, everyone has to know about this place. It's in the hood. It's, it has Salvi and Mexican options. And you walk in and it's, the señores and señoras of the neighborhood just having coffee. And
that's how you know it's legit.
And actually opting out to have the vegan options without them being vegan. So
that's
that was like
major.
the big thing.
Respect.
Yeah. So I put them on, and since then they've started veganizing so many things.
Really?
Yeah, so many, like the what do you call that?
What?
There's
arroz con leche.
They do have arroz con leche.
Atole.
We have somebody that does atole. They even do a chocolate cake. It's a little bread.
Tres leches.
No. It's a salvi
quesadilla.
bread.
Quesadilla.
Not a quesadilla. The thing is, they're one of the few that do make a vegan bolillo. A lot of people don't.
I need to even see like what's up with the bolillo, because bolillo is kind of like French bread, but it's not. It's like, well, it's. I think it's French bread, isn't it? Isn't a bolillo like French bread? Oh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So that's very popular.
I know what that is, though. I guess I don't know the name of that. Sorry, guys, you can't see it or hear it. It doesn't look like. It looks like. I know what it is. Oh.
Somebody.
Maybe we'll post that. See, we have to start getting into graphs.
Yeah, but the thing is that they could offer a full traditional.
Is that the vegan bolillo?
Yeah.
What?
They can offer, and they have vegan empanadas. There you go. And that's a little salvi pastelito.
Is that vegan avocado?
Hey. You know, I'm actually going to Guadalajara next weekend, or this weekend, and I'm going to the very first avocado bar in all of Mexico.
What?
Which is there, yeah.
That's what's up.
And we're gonna go eat a vegan avocado burger where the buns are made of avocado.
What? Oh my god!
So,
I can't wait.
But this, like, even if you go like in the hood now, like you got Pico Union, you got Panaderia Cuscalateca doing all this vegan stuff, and they also offer like soy chorizo, and you know they offer like a $5. Their prices are ridiculous because they stick to like the neighborhood prices, which is not that common with veganism.
It's not common, yeah, for veganism.
But it's not expensive. You know, going back
like
to the
knowing that, you know, the vegan word and knowing you're going to put $5 on top of everything else.
No, but it's not like that. People think like veganism is expensive.
Yeah, they do.
I just, like I explained, $120 gets you 26 to 32 meals. That's cheap.
Yeah.
You could go get a burger at Carl's Jr., just the burger, for $6.
Yeah,
you get a meal for $10, which is very comparable to what a non-vegan meal is.
That's LA life now. Anywhere you eat, it's like at least $1.
But here,
lo mínimo.
You get a torta for $5.
Oh, that's old school.
You get a batido, a shake for $2.75.
Oh my god, that's old. That's like 1995 prices. Like, no, I'm not even playing, you guys. Yeah. You can't get a torta for less than $8 in
here. Right.
Yeah,
that's
like
the thing.
Torta used to be $5, like just straight up.
Just like the burrito.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are you paying now for a regular burrito?
I don't eat burritos.
$7, $8.
Dude, that's still cheap, bro.
$7, $8.
Torta's $10 now.
Okay,
even at like
think of this. My favorite vegan Mexican spot is Vegatino's.
Okay. Good to know.
Vegatino's, I started being homies with them since they had, I don't know, 900 followers.
Okay, well,
like we became really close friends, and what happened is I ended up helping market them completely, absolutely on a homie status, free of charge,
just like
free
homie
of
love,
everything.
Because you're legit.
I want to put you on at the same time, like it's a mutual benefit, you know. We're putting each other on. It was all love.
Okay.
So we now they're huge. Like now they're like 46,000 followers, and
because they're legit.
When's this airing?
In 2 weeks.
Okay, so the announcement's going to be out. They're going to go to Coachella. They're going to be vending at Coachella.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're going to be vending at Coachella, and that's like how crazy it is.
Oh my god!
So you go there and you just set $7 to $8 for a burrito. You could get a $9 burrito at Vegatino's with 3 vegan meats in it.
Dude.
It's like a 10-pound baby, man.
We're going to go. Yeah. We're going to go deliver this baby very soon.
So they do carnitas, they do asada, they do chorizo.
Yeah.
They don't do chorizo. They do chicharrón.
Okay.
The crunchy chicharrón.
Oh, my goodness.
So things like that.
I'm a burrito guy, dude. Like,
you're a burrito
number
guy?
one is like
I'm not a burrito guy. I'm a gal.
So then they have a burrito named after my close friend Al from Vegan Food Share, and it's called Al's Burrito.
Oh, that's dope.
And that burrito has
maybe Jay will get a burrito one day.
Dude, hell yeah. Like, you guys
that's a bucket list goal.
We'll
your
eat.
food getting named. No, but you got to get a named burrito.
So I got to name their French fries.
Nice.
So they were named after me.
They are? We need to go have your fries.
They're called Papas a la Bestia.
Oh, a la Bestia. I remember that. right.
Yeah.
Oh, I was supposed to be in that video.
Dude, so that's funny. So like
Wow.
Bestia, going back to music, Bestia
Yes.
is probably one of the most controversial songs I've ever made.
I really liked Bestia.
So yeah, exactly.
I
So
enjoyed Bestia. That was like,
I almost didn't release that because I was like, yo, this is not like of my nature to talk about a person that way.
Yeah, I know.
But detaching yourself from, you know, sex, like,
yeah,
what sex is this? And it's just something you're angry at.
you're feeling.
You're like, yeah.
It's a feeling.
So I was able to write it and able to do that, but the irony is that the females are the ones that liked it the most, and the males are like, oh shit, that's kind of like
taboo.
bad. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
That is so true.
So,
I actually didn't.
I had a lot of homegirls who are like, man, I know a fucking bitch I can send this to right now. And I'm like, dude,
Isn't that
alright,
funny?
alright, yeah.
No, but I remember you asking me. I don't know. You never did the video, huh?
I did, but when I got that record
He asked
deal,
me
I
to
took
be
everything
the
off.
bestia in the video.
Yeah.
I think, right? Wasn't I supposed to be the beast? I was supposed to be the bestia in the video, and I think I was going through some shit. I'm so mad I said no.
Dude,
you know what you look
I
like?
ended up recording it with just my neighbors, and it's like a group of 5 dudes that like
just like
are
feeling
drunks.
something.
No, they're like super drunks. They're super, but they're super chill
video.
people. Yeah. So it was just like us talking shit and like them like wiling out, being like they were plastered.
That's so
and
funny.
And it was just like.
Well, you have
great.
a few videos on like some people being.
Well, I ended up taking down all those music videos.
I remember.
You know.
I actually went back one day to just like review you. Not recently. It was a long time ago. All
because
of
of my memory crashed, my external memory crashed, so I lost a lot of that. But it was good, you know, like
it was a time.
It lives in the memory.
It lives in the memory.
The audio is still there, you know, like the video was great. That whole creative process was awesome, and it's back, and like, you know, the juices are flowing.
I know, I'm so
the music
excited.
is definitely coming back, and it's being merged into all the food stuff. You know, the food is staying independent, and I'm still talking about food nonstop.
Okay.
Because I eat a lot every day, and it's you know, and having separate platforms for it is cool, because you know, not like a lot of the artists that like I know now that I'm working with now, they're eating vegan food. It's crazy, because like anybody working like with me or my brother, everything has to be vegan around us. And it's like, you know, I'm a big vegan advocate. My brother's very mellow, and he just eats vegan, and that's what he does. He doesn't like take pictures and shares it. But when he's around like various artists, and you're gonna go eat something, and it's like, oh, you know, Kilo Angelino's vegan, we have to make sure there's vegan options, or Saccolini's here, we got to make sure there's vegan options. Then everybody starts thinking.
Yeah.
You know, and if there's
which is great, actually. I actually think.
And here in LA, our culture, we have a lot of pop-ups, and if there's a pop-up around, we have the liberty of saying, hey, let's go eat here
and check it out.
Yeah, and half of the room or all of the room that's not vegan, the rest of the room that's not vegan is going to have the option of trying its first vegan food. Yeah,
absolutely.
Even that's how it's crossing over. So it's crossing over there to music, and then my outdoor stuff that I do, which I hike a lot, you know, in 2017, I did 52 hikes.
Wow.
50, that's a hike a week, but, you know, sometimes you had to do like 3 hikes that week.
Yeah, to make up what we do, pick it up.
Yeah, so we spent 2 years trying to get 52 hikes, and we like the closest we got was 33.
Hey, you did it.
Yeah,
you hit a mark.
But now, like, if you think of that, like in the outdoors, if you're backpacking or eating food out there, and you're vegan,
exactly,
like, you got to know what's up, you know, like
no more cornflakes.
Nah, no more corn, no more milk. Period. So, but the evolution of food now is that there's a lot of vegan food out for like people that do outdoor
and long-term sustainability, like things that you can actually eat.
Yeah,
that's like on the go.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So one company that has like sponsored me. Just because they've noticed the cross between the outdoors and the vegan food community. It's Backpackers Pantry. A very well respected company. They do dehydrated foods. I love their food. Okay. One of my favorite foods they do is Cuban rice and beans.
Oh wow.
Back to Cuban food.
Okay, I can do that.
Literally, like, you could buy this at REI, you could buy it online, and it's a pouch. And all you do is put hot water, let it sit for 20 minutes. It rehydrates.
Okay.
And you have like a garlic, banana-ish
so good.
rice with beans.
It's like being right back in La Habana.
Yeah, dude. Like, and that,
La
like,
Habana Vieja.
so you have that. So now, like, you know, they've definitely sent me a lot of care packages, and I've been able to eat outdoors like that.
That's what's up.
But I love to cook, you know, and that's the other
too.
side. Like, you know, all my cooking stuff is going to come under a vegan in her. But like when I just started becoming vegan, I used to joke around and hashtag things Jae Greens.
Yes, yeah. I feel like you were Jae Greens before that.
Before Vegan in Her.
Yes.
Yeah. So Jae Greens was like the veganism of Jae.
That's
you
funny,
know?
huh?
Yeah. So
how it
like,
kind of emerged.
Yeah.
In
So
a way.
I love to cook. So
I love
cooking
to cook, too.
outdoors adds like a new challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, what can you cook outdoors that's going to be bomb for everyone that's with you outdoors?
Agreed. That's kind of I'm excited now.
Because then you have people that are paleo or like following a keto diet,
specific
or
to,
you know, or gluten free. But in veganism, you could hit all those three.
Yeah, that's
and still provide vegan food.
Okay.
If you're a keto and you eat animals, you're not going to know how to provide that vegan person that food. You might be able to help whatever, the paleo or the gluten-free if they do cross, but you're going to be leaving out that vegan. As a vegan, you're able to provide to everyone.
Interesting. I never even thought about that.
So, and that's because we go backpacking.
Okay.
And when we go backpacking, there's a meat eater, there's a gluten-free guy, and then there's a vegan guy. So what it's trickled down to, it's you're the cook.
Yeah, everyone falls back to you.
And now you gotta
provide everything.
Now you figure it out. You know, and if the meat eater wants to add meat to their gluten-free, dinner, then add your beef jerky. Cool, add it after.
Yeah. Just the topper, the bacon bits.
Yeah, whatever you want to add. So
that's awesome.
But even with vegan, if you want to add like a vegan beef jerky, there is vegan beef jerky.
Of course there is.
Now
I know there is. So there you go.
Yeah.
So bringing it back in, I think, okay, so my final question for you is, because you're on here and we are like first among equals, and basically the idea is that you're being first in something you're doing or many things you're doing, what would you say right now, where are you and what are you trying to be first at? What's your goal right now? It can be whatever, broad.
100% true to myself. And I think that's like the most difficult thing that people can push out is being true to yourself and being loyal. And that's money doesn't buy my friendship. Money doesn't buy my loyalty. Money doesn't buy anything when it comes to who I am. So as long as I'm producing who I am and sharing it with the world, I feel comfortable. So my goal is to complete my Saccolini first couple singles or album. Right now, what it looks like it's 3 singles and a small project that's 3 songs that are cohesive. That's my Saccolini project.
This year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually in May. The first single might drop in May.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Heard it here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
In May. And also in May is when A Vegan in Her is coming into full fruition. Right now, we've been doing a lot of free marketing. I just started charging people for marketing.
Amazing.
And I've had, years of marketing experience, professional marketing experience. And now, like, we've paid our dues for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, it's a grind.
Doing stuff for free. And now we're going to flip the tables. Now I want to monetize A Vegan in Her because I've created it to a spot where I am spending money in order to inform and entertain people.
Absolutely.
So it has to be, there has to be a mutual benefit. And in May, that's when we release our first YouTube series, which is Vegan Food in Koreatown.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's a tour of vegan food in Koreatown. all the mom and pops places, the places that people are hating me for not talking about.
Okay, we're gonna talk about it, right?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
point.
So this year that gets released with A Vegan in Her. The travel vlogs get released with A Vegan in Her.
So amazing.
More merchandise gets released with A Vegan in Her.
Oh, really? Merch?
Yeah, so
Okay.
everything is rolling out. You know, new partnerships that are going to come out that people are going to.
Dang, Jay.
You know, little
This is Jay or
things.
Sacalini. I don't know now.
It's all just me. That's the thing,
amazing.
you know. And part of that, also on top of that, is going to come out the hiking stuff. So now we're going to be creating like eating guides and
Wow.
hiking guides to all these national parks that we've done.
Dude, that's major.
And it's all just one. It's all me, but creative outlets on each one. And it's not just me. It's just my life and everyone around me. You know, it's because everyone plays a big role in
Absolutely.
everything that I'm doing.
Me too.
And
I'm very grateful.
it's awesome, man. It's awesome. It's scary. It's super scary.
I
you
agree.
know?
It's scary.
But
It's exciting though.
Yeah.
I think it's more exciting than scary.
Yeah,
I have
it's-
scary
I mean,
moments,
I
but
love
it's
it. You
exciting
know,
too.
like there's moments where I'm like, oh, I can't breathe. What's going on?
Yeah.
And like even like today in the car, like driving over here, like I was having a freaked out moment at outer stuff that was going on, and I was like, all right, what's your breathing exercise? I'm like, all right, these two fingers, and like, boom, start breathing, and zoning it in,
Yeah.
and being able to be like, all right, I'm at 100. Let's go do this interview.
Fuck yeah.
Let's rock this. Screw this traffic. You know,
Yeah.
like let's go. I'm ready. You know, and everybody needs a moment. You know, and everybody's gonna have their moment. It's just taking it.
I'm so grateful for you.
Dude, I'm so grateful for you.
Like this. Oh my god, I got all emotional. It's so beautiful. Well, thank you.
Dude, I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate you too. Do you want to give everyone your plug, where they can find you?
At Sacalini, SACKALIN. That is 100% music and everything I'm doing in regards to that world. A Vegan in Her. That's A Vegan and AND Her. That's where I do everything related to food in regards to food tours, food tastings. Any events, I'll be at Coachella doing food stuff. I'll be
What's
at Eat
up?
Drink Vegan doing food stuff. I'll be at the Latin billboards doing music stuff. And Hike Earth. That's where you'll find my hiking stuff. Hiking guides will be all over everything. Everything's going to be cross-promotional.
Oh, I love it.
If you like music, just follow me in music. If you like hiking, just follow me at Hike Earth.
Just follow him everywhere.
If you like veganism, just add Vegan in Her. There's a little bit for everyone, and it's all honest. That's what it is.
Authenticity. I appreciate it.
It's just true
Love.
to the creative self, and that's it.
Well, thank you guys for listening. This is Lonnie J and my boy genius Danny.
What she is.
Woo! First among equals. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Cheers.